It's not a conversation about how do you win the fight. It's how do you solve the dilemma. Solving the dilemma involves understanding peace.
We're not here educating simply for the sake of education. We're here to give them an education that will be of use to them in carrying out the national security duties that they will be assigned when they leave Newport.
War is a phenomena. It's a phenomena very much like hurricanes. No one would suggest that because hurricanes are terrible, we shouldn't study them. And so likewise, we look at it here as a study of war. In many ways, is to study war so that we don't have to go to war.
It's critical that the naval profession has a mid-career school that is not only a place where you can educate future leaders, but is also a repository of that knowledge.
Rear Admiral Stephen B. Luce persuaded the Secretary of the Navy to create the institution. The highest professional question that officers face is, what is the nature of warfare? How do wars end? How do wars begin? But at the time, there was no place in the United States and hardly any place in the world where those questions were being studied and talked about. Today, the Naval War College is the leading institution for professional military education.
And it's evolved from being what was originally thought to be a technical school for mid-grade and senior officers to now becoming a home of strategic thought.
Not only do we have one of each of the services represented, we also have civilians that come out of the security sector from places like the FBI. In every class, we have a minimum of one international student.
We're bringing the world closer together and promoting cooperation and interoperability on a scale we've never imagined before.
Security challenges are transnational, and it's not something that one Navy, big or small, can handle and address decisively. At the War College, because of the international environment, you begin to say, let's work together. And I think that leads to a better outcome for all of us.
The relationships that I have made here and have built here are going to be lasting my entire career. I have folks throughout the entire DoD now that I can call and depend on to help me solve issues.
Our job is to educate and develop the Navy and the nation's future leaders so that they can engage at higher levels of leadership.
The way that they might lead in their commands or in combat is very different than what would be required of them as senior commanders. So what we do here at the college is help shift that mindset from thinking in a very tactical way to thinking in a very strategic way.
After 9/11, New York City set up its fire police departments where they came and did wargaming.
We helped them think about the range of problems that they could well face. It may not be an airplane crashing into a building again, but it may be bacteria, or it may be a dirty nuclear device. War games are just a superb teaching tool. That's what we introduced them to and enabled them to start doing, which they quickly, of course, began doing for themselves.
We have the agility here at the college to make sure the Navy and the nation is ready to meet future challenges head on.
With the maritime domain increasingly playing a more important role in mitigating the various threats, the Naval War College is well positioned to be able to explore and anticipate many of those changes.
Not only are we prepared for conflict resolution, but we're better prepared to avoid conflict in the first place.
I don't know about you, but I want the people who are responsible for our national security to be well informed, well educated, grounded in the profession so that when they are in the position of making the decisions that affect us, they're making the right decisions.
I just don't think you can have peace without knowledge, and I think that's one of the key components of this institution. The whole idea of peace is to understand what happens before, during, and after a war. Certainly students come out of here much more knowledgeable about that so they can reflect on what it means to be in a conflict. The United States is much better off with that type of individual leading in this really complex world that we're up against.